this is with regards to a remark that's been made by Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, who has called the October 7th incident in Israel a big act of terrorism and has advocated for the two-state solution for sustainable peace in the region. So we have this particular bit that has been spoken by Dr. S. Jaishankar that we're going to play out for you first. Let's have a look at that.
Happened on October 7th, this big act of terrorism, the subsequent happenings after that. This has taken the entire region into a very different direction. But surely it must be everybody's hope that eventually, the conflict cannot be the normal of that region, that it comes back to some stability, some cooperation. There has to be a solution to what is, the problems which face the Palestinian people. And our view is that it has to be a two-state solution. If you have to find a solution, you have to find a solution through dialogue and negotiation. You cannot find a solution through conflict and terrorism.
Abhishek, we come back to you with this particular question with regards to what Dr. S. Jaishankar has said. This is probably the first time that while India has constantly been condemning the terrorist act of terrorism that has taken place in Israel, he's also advocated for a solution, the two-state solution that also Antony Blinken spoke about. How are we looking at this development?
Well, the conflict has clearly laid down some of the issues that is currently at the hand, because it clearly tells that the situation would continue to escalate, or skirmishes would continue to happen unless and until a long-term and sustainable solution is found. And that could be only possible if the world acknowledges the fact that there is an Israel and there is an Palestine, and both are two countries and they are existing independently. We know that a number of countries around the world do not accept the existence of Israel. They do not acknowledge Israel as a country. And many of times we also see Palestinians are also being treated the same way. So probably that is the only solution which India has always propagated. And India's firm foreign policy for decades has been that the Middle East crisis between Israel and Palestine can only be solved on the basis of two-state solution, when the world will acknowledge the fact that these two states do exist, and probably then they could live in harmony and peace. What currently is happening, Jaishankar has also underlined the fact that the big terror attack that has happened from the Hamas side, that also needs to be condemned, and India has been very strong advocate of any terrorist activity around the world that needs to be condemned. Irrespective of the reason, irrespective of the cause, the act of terrorism is something that must be condemned. And this is what India's position has been, and probably that was one of the reasons why India abstained from UN resolution, voting in UN resolution, because it did not have name of Hamas as a terrorist or as an organization which perpetrated that act of terrorism against Israeli people. That was one of the reasons. Second, obviously, the humanitarian crisis that is evolving in Middle East is also something that as Jaishankar has expressed his concern about. And two-state solution is the only way forward that India, USA, and other major powers in the world are talking about, foreseeing a peace and stability in the region.